attendees. That ensures that we can get your questions and comments as we move through the program today. So I'll just repeat that to say, locate the chat box and toggle to icon from all panelists to all panelists and attendees. We are so glad you're here, and we are also very anxious to see where you're logging in from and what kind of work that you're seeking. So if you are a job seeker today, tell us what you're looking for in the chat box, and as well as where you're logging in from. We'll get started in a few moments. We just want to welcome everyone to Job Club. Job Club is currently hosted in Zoom webinar. The participants in the webinar can hear and see presenters. Attendees are not active on mics or cameras, and so if you do choose to participate in the chat box, your name will be published to the group. We'll be starting in a few moments, but we do want to welcome you. And again, we want to hear where you're from. So go to that chat box, let us know where you're coming from, as well as maybe the type of work that you are interested in. We've got Lexington and Paducah already online. Welcome. Employers and recruiters, they are always welcome at Job Club. An employer guest may have speaking privileges to share a 1-minute spotlight at the end of our session to the group later. So look for that opportunity if you are an employer or a recruiter. And welcome to you as well. I want to remind you that some people in the webinar are conducting a confidential job search. So let's please be respectful of privacy for the job search of others. Check out job search related articles. They're included in our Job Club reminder emails. Please keep engagement in our chat box positive. Again, when we're talking about the chat box, let us know where you're from. We've got Louisville, got some more Lexington participants. Good morning to everyone who's joined us today. I want to welcome those that are viewing from Facebook Live as well. If you would like to engage with the Job Club community and receive our job lead newsletter, we would like for you to register at www.ukalumni.net/jobclub. And that address will be on the slides. Lexington again, let us know where you're from. Go to that chat box and let us know where you're from. We'll get started shortly. But for now, please locate the chat box, toggle to icon from all panelists to all panelists and attendees. And that's going to ensure that we see your questions and comments as we move through the program today. Welcome to Job Club. We'll be starting in just a few moments. We have a wonderful program for you today, and we're just glad that you have selected to spend the morning with us. Welcome to those of you that are viewing on Facebook Live. And again, if you'd like to engage with the Job Club community and receive our job lead newsletter, register at www.ukalumni.net/job. We'll be starting in a few moments. We're welcoming you to Job Club. And again, just let us know where your job logging in from. We'll take questions throughout the presentation within the chat box as well. So that's why it's important to get set up before we start. Welcome to Job Club. We'll be starting in just a few moments. We just want to remind you that employers and recruiters are always welcome to Job Club. Employee guests may have speaking privileges, so you can designate that with a hand up and we'll give you that opportunity later in the program. All right, I think, have we got any more shout outs from any place that we haven't acknowledged? You can do that throughout. We just love knowing where you're from. Excited you're here. And I think we are perhaps ready to get started. It's 10 o'clock.
Good morning again, and welcome to the Central Kentucky Job Club. We've been going strong for 8 years now and have been able to help hundreds of people from all over Kentucky and beyond in their job search. A few reminders before our speaker. Our program today is we're going to first share success stories, then we'll have our main speakers. We'll have sharing of some active job leads, partner updates, and then we'll let you know who's on deck for next job club meeting. After the job club program today, you will receive a follow-up newsletter, so be on the watch out for that. Here is our team that brings you Job Club. Diana Doggett with the Fayette Cooperative Extension Service. I'm Caroline Francis, Director of UK Alumni Career Services. We have Amanda Shagney with UK Alumni Career Services. Nicole Waite with UK HR Steps. Also shout out to Ellie Goodman, who helps us so much. Queen Sullivan, who is also on the chat moderation task today, and Suzanne Smith with Extension. A big shout out and thank you to our team for bringing you Job Club. Our mission, and this has been our mission from the very beginning of Job Club, is to provide a positive environment for job seekers to network, learn best practices for their job search. And hopefully when we get back in person, there'll be a lot more of that networking going on. We do meet the second and fourth Tuesday of the month, and you can find our schedule. Our new schedule for the fall will be posted soon at the ukalumni.net/job club website. We are finalizing that schedule. As of the moment, we are planning to have a hybrid job club offering beginning in September, where we will be in person at Extension and also continuing with our virtual Zoom format. That is all subject to change due to COVID. So we need you to just keep an eye on your email and we'll keep you updated. Welcome especially to our first timers. Our first timers will receive a follow-up later today, and this feedback will place you in our notification system. Or if you simply just want to go ahead and take your phone and scan the QR code in the bottom of your screen, the bottom right corner of your screen, quick and easy to do, just scan that code and that'll get you in the system even faster. We're pleased to be able to offer a free Job Club resource packet. Past attendees have told us how helpful this is. We spend a lot of time compiling this information of job search frequently asked questions, networking opportunities, informational interview tips, area staffing agencies, wonderful articles, resume tips, LinkedIn tips, lots of great material that you can find in that resource packet. Also, we really want to encourage you to join our Central Kentucky Job Club sharing community on LinkedIn. We have more and more employers every week posting active job leads on this group. We often receive a job lead and it closes quickly. So we put them in this group page on LinkedIn and it's open to anyone. So please utilize that excellent resource for some great job leads. Now it's time in the program for success stories. We know there's been success stories since our last Job Club meeting. We've not had a formal one emailed into us yet. We know there's a few in the works, but in the meantime, please use your chat box and let us know what kind of success you have experienced since the last Job Club meeting. Perhaps you've had a telephone interview, maybe you've updated your resume or your LinkedIn profile. Perhaps you've gotten an offer. Let us know in that chat box what experiences you've had that would be a success that we can share with the group. We've received some emails from people, so don't be shy here. Go ahead and let us know in that chat box. What are some of your successes, personal success stories relating to your job search since our last meeting 2 weeks ago? Amanda and I attended an employer summit last week. It was an in-person event. We had employers from all over the state and some from out of state that flew in for this event, and they are actively recruiting. Now is a great time to reach out. Even if a company does not have a posted job, if it's a company you're interested in, we really encourage you to reach out. We hear employers have lots of opportunities right now. So please get your nerve up and reach out to employers of interest. Let them know some of the skill sets that you have and what you could bring to the table. All right, I think everyone's being shy today about sharing your successes. We know you've had them. We've heard from you about them. So we'll move on to our speakers today. We are thrilled to bring small business development and franchise experts to you today to share lots of wonderful tips and strategies. The future of work is there's going to be lots of different ways people can piece together a career. We may have part-time gigs, we may have side jobs, we may do contract work, we might own a business at some point in our career. Today, Tanya Parsons is with us, and she specializes in operations, project management, and entrepreneurship. Prior to joining the Kentucky Small Business Development Center, Tanya owned a small business in Central Kentucky, worked as a director with the Kentucky Department of Insurance, as well as serving as a small business coach. She's originally from Owensboro, Kentucky, but since earning her degree in mathematics from the University of Kentucky, she's lived in Lexington. She's been recognized for her networking, volunteerism, and community service. She's an energetic self-starter that loves an adventure and is dedicated to helping others succeed. In her free time, she works with the UK Alumni and UK Women in Philanthropy organizations to raise money for scholarships. She also enjoys spending time with family and friends and cheering on the cats. We have also with us today, Amanda Berry. She is president and CEO of FranNet of Kentucky, a franchise consulting firm. FranNet is a free consulting service that provides valuable research and guidance for aspiring entrepreneurs who are interested in taking advantage of a franchise opportunity and perhaps becoming business owners. For over 30 years, FranNet has matched thousands of entrepreneurs with their perfect franchise business opportunity. As a military spouse and former federal employee, Amanda lived and worked all over the United States, but always found her way back to her Kentucky roots, where she currently operates various businesses in addition to her FranNet franchise. Prior to becoming her own boss, Amanda devoted more than 10 years to various leadership roles with the Department of Veterans Affairs. There, she coached hundreds of employees in career development. Amanda received her bachelor's degree from the University of Louisville and a master's degree in conflict management from Sullivan University. Welcome, both of you. Thank you so much for being with us today, and we cannot wait to hear the valuable information you're going to share.
Well, thank you, and good morning. We'd like to thank Caroline and Amanda for reaching out to us to present today. Go ahead and do the next slide. I'm Tanya Parsons, and as Caroline said, I am a business coach. I've been a business coach for a couple of years. I started with the Kentucky Small Business Development Center about a year ago, and my path to the KSBDC started in health insurance about 25 years ago. And then I left that industry with the mindset of being my own boss. So I operated and owned a franchise cleaning business for 6 years. And the experience of running the day-to-day business and activity of a small business provided me a comprehensive knowledge, which has led me to business coaching. Amanda, you want to tell us a little bit about your path?
Sure. Thank you, Tanya. So good morning. My name is Amanda Berry. I own a franchise consultancy firm, which the first time I was ever introduced to a franchise, I thought it was all fast food and McDonald's and Wendy's, and I was not interested in that at all. But as we'll go through this presentation today, you guys will see it's really a lot of different industries and some really interesting franchise systems. I started my franchise back in 2017 after leaving federal employment for 10 years. I had always thought about business ownership, but I did not know that it was necessarily going to be right for me. And it was through the help of FranNet and the Small Business Development Center and the SBA that really helped me solidify and understand what I was getting into. And I think that's what we want to make sure that you all understand today. When we're looking at business ownership, it's not just about the product, it's about what your role in that business is and if it's something you're going to be happy doing. Because as Tanya can attest, when you start a business, you're married to it. You got to like it a little bit. So I'm really excited to be here today and to take you guys through this presentation. And thank you so much for having me. Even though I am a graduate of University of Louisville, I still think UK's all right.
Well, we still love you, Amanda. Ellie, awesome. I think we skipped a little too far, but I'll just go probably on the third slide, probably. So we know that many of you are currently in a job search, and I can relate. I was in your seat after selling my cleaning franchise in March of 2019 and was looking for my next career move. With the assistance of the UK Alumni Career Services and Job Club, I was preparing for interviews and job opportunities. All the while, I was doing business coaching on the side as a consultant. So I realized that doing consulting work part-time was going to take a little while to get up to speed for a full book of business to do it full-time. And needless to say, when I was in your seat, I was keeping all of my options open. So I think if you can get to the slide where it talks about characteristics of being your own boss, that's probably where we are. And while Ellie does that, if you guys want to take a minute and maybe fill the chat up with things that are characteristics or other characteristics of being your own boss. Oh, I see discipline. That's very true. Some other ones. I'm going to pull up the slides on my computer while Ellie gets the slideshow going. But there are multitasking, yes. Informed and networking, act sacrifice. These are amazing. Certainly, things like being a decision maker. Being confident, good time management, being a visionary, self-motivated, hardworking, passionate. You have to be passionate, resilient. These are all characteristics that you would find in starting your own business for sure. So the next thing we're going to do is talk about ways to be your own boss. There's a couple of ways to do that. Obviously, you can start or open up your own business from the ground up. You can buy an existing business, one that's already in operation. You can go the franchise route to start or buy a business. And you can take your side gig, side hustle, hobby job to the next level. These are all ways that you can get into business and be your own boss. So at this time, I'm going to just hand it over to Amanda and let us talk about FranNet and talk about the different business ownership options.
Thanks, Tanya. So I know that the guys or the ladies behind the screen are working diligently to get that PowerPoint slide back up. I understand what it's like to have technical difficulties. So while they work on that, Ellie, if you do find it, we can jump to slide 11 or 12, business ownership options. So as Tanya said, really when you think about business ownership, and for me personally, when I was in the middle of my job search after 10 years with the federal government, I'd gone as high as I could go. There was no other place for me to go, and I couldn't see myself doing it for another 20 years. I loved my mission, loved what I did, but I needed a new challenge, and I needed something that was just different. When I first started my job search, business ownership was not on the table. It was, first of all, I thought it was too expensive. Second, I had no idea what I would do. I had worked in government my entire career. I didn't know how to translate that into a business. And honestly, I didn't think that I had the discipline, as someone put in the chat, to really make a business successful. So that had never been something that I thought of when I was doing my job search. However, once I started going through the process, 10 years in government, I had risen to a pretty high level. I was kind of used to being in charge. And the idea of going back and working for someone who was going to tell me what to do, that really was not something I was necessarily interested in. And a friend of mine said, well, have you ever thought about owning a business? And I said, I've thought about it, but I don't know what I would do. The only thing I know that I'm good at is I'm really super good at telling other people what to do. I could do that all day long, but I didn't know what I would do. And another friend of mine said, have you ever thought about owning a franchise? And I said, no, thank you. I don't want to own a Subway. I worked in fast food when I was in high school, and I never want to experience that again. And she's the one who said, you really should expand your minds, look at all your business ownership options, but understand that, and especially in the franchising world, isn't Tanya pointed out, she owned a franchise that had nothing to do with food. There's about 4,000 franchises in 90 industries, and the majority are not food or fast food service related. So just something to keep in mind. Business ownership, yes. If you could go to the next slide, please. While they figure that out. There's really ways to get into business. There's really 3 options, 3.5, I like to say. So you can start a business from scratch. You can buy an existing business, or you can go into a franchise. And the 4th that Tanya will talk about is how to turn that side hustle that you might be doing on the weekends or nights into something that's profitable. And Sbdc is phenomenal at helping clients take their side business to the next level. So we're going to go through the pros and cons of each. Just to give you a general overview of the different types, I personally have owned and operated 5 businesses in each of these categories. So I've done all 3 categories. Each comes with their own pros and cons. It really just depends on where you're at in your life and what you want to tackle. So if we could get to the start a business slide. Perfect, keep going. Next. Oh, we went through this, you can keep going. Next. We talked a little bit about this, why go into business ownership in general. I will tell you the security of a paycheck when you start a job is pretty hard to beat. When you first go into any of these business options, it's going to be a while before you can generate that income. But whenever I teach these classes, it's really more about what is in it for you. And if you've ever considered business ownership before, you really need to start with why you want to do this crazy thing like start a business, no matter what option you choose, because that's going to be kind of your why, your driving force. Is it success, fulfillment, flexibility, independence, financial security? I work with a lot of clients who have been laid off multiple times. The last person you fire from your own business is you. So there's a little bit of security in that. Control, for me, it was control. That was huge. Working in the federal sector, I could be called to go anywhere, anytime, and I had no control over my schedule. One day I would be in Louisville, Kentucky. The next day they would call me to DC for 3 months, and I had, a week's notice to do that. So control for me was really, really, really important. It was something that I really thought about when I was looking at businesses. The next slide, please. So how do you start? Next. Begin with the end in mind. So this is huge. A lot of times entrepreneurs, and I know Tanya will attest to this, they kind of jump into the what of the business before they think about their goals and their long-term objectives. What do you want out of it? That is going to be huge. Is this something you want to pass down to your kids? Is this a legacy? Is this something that you want to sell for a big profit and retire off of? These are different businesses. I always suggest, and I know Sbdc does the same thing, it's not just a business, it's what are you doing with it and what is your role in that business and what do you want at the end of it? Next. So again, the 3 options, I'll go through these pretty quickly. Next, please. Good job, by the way, Ellie, getting those slides back up. How to start a business. So there are advantages and disadvantages. Advantages, total control. You are starting this business, you are writing the rules as you see fit. You get to make all the decisions. So if you're a super type A personality and you like being very decisive, starting a business might be for you. Lots of room for creativity. There's no one else's rules but your own. Very large upside, and you can build a business from your passion. So if you are very passionate about something, you can probably build a business from it. Disadvantages, you have to create the systems yourself. So you are everything. You are IT, you are HR. You're the one that's trying to figure out how to make your computer operate appropriately. You're the one trying to figure out payroll. You have to do everything. There are limited financial, so a lot of it can be done, but banks, especially if you need a loan, tend to not necessarily like startups because they're not proven. They're a little bit harder to fund, not impossible, but a little bit harder. Slower ramp up. So if you're starting a business from scratch, you have to learn all those mistakes before you can be successful in it. So sometimes that can be a slower ramp up. And there is a higher failure rate. Although there's a lot of people that say when to start a business, they work at it for a week and then they decide that they're no longer going to do that. So you kind of have to take the higher failure rate with a grain of salt. I have started 2 businesses from scratch personally. It's fun, but also challenging. Next slide, please. Buy an existing business. A lot of people really, really like this option. So advantages, cash flow, cash positive. You're already making money. That's a good thing. If it's a good business, they probably have goodwill in that community. You actually have financial results you can look at, P&L statements. You can look at gross sales. You have official documentation that you can review. Very attractive to lenders. Banks love to finance existing business sales because they have that financial information in front of them that they can make a decision and take a chance. You usually have an established market and an established customer base, usually comes with employees. Systems are probably already in place, especially if it's a successful business. And then owner financing. I see this a lot in this industry, where even if a bank will only finance half of it, sometimes an owner will stay on for a certain percentage each month, and you can kind of finance it that way through just you and the prior owner. Some disadvantages, cash flow. So maybe it's not doing so great. And that's the reason that they're selling. If you ever hear the words, I want to sell my business due to family issues, it's kind of code for, okay, well, what's really going on? If you are looking at buying an existing business, use a professional to help you. I highly recommend you contact the Sbdc for this. They can help you they see this all the time. They can help you identify what's a good one and what's not. Bad will, sometimes that particular business may have had some reputation issues in the community and you're going to have to overcome that. Maybe overpriced. I would change that to it's always overpriced. Anytime an owner is selling their business, that's their baby. They grew it, they made it. They always think it's worth more than it is. Poor training and support, hidden seller motives, your general, what you would think of if you're trying to buy an existing business. Employees may leave. This is very important. Sometimes if you're buying an existing business, what the value of that business brings to the table is their employees. I had a client that was looking at buying an existing business. It looked great on paper, had 5 very dedicated employees that were pretty crucial to the operations. Once we started digging into the numbers and into the business plan, we found out that all 5 of those employees were somehow related to the owner. So my client was looking at it going, the first time I make a decision they don't like, I could lose them all. So it's just something to keep in mind. And then higher debt. Buying an existing business is probably your most expensive option because you are buying intangible assets. So just to keep that in mind. Next slide, please. Buying a franchise. So this is really where my expertise comes into play. Like I said, I have started 2 businesses. I did buy one existing business, and it was a pretty good. It was a good experience. I will say one of the issues with buying an existing business is actually finding one that is good. A lot of business owners don't want their employees or customers to know they're selling, so sometimes it can be a little difficult to even find them for sale. It's very much of word of mouth, especially in this especially in this community. So buying a franchise, advantages, you get name recognition immediately. We all know, we probably all know Meineke, that's a big franchise, Mako, Amco, all owned by the same franchisor, by the way. That's why it's just the same letters rearranged, Mako, Amco. You get a proven business system. A lot of times franchises are what's called on the SBA registry, where the Small Business Administration has validated this is in fact a good business, and it's easier to finance that way. Now the banks just need to know that you can handle the business, that they know the system itself will work. You get a lot of training and support. That's what you're trying to, what you're buying into when you get into a franchise. You're learning everyone else's mistakes that they had made along the way and how to not make them yourself. A lower failure rate, a lower cost. I think that if buying a franchise is probably in the middle, it's not as, starting your own business is probably the cheapest. Buying an existing business is the most expensive. A franchise is right in the middle. Financing options, you have a lot more financing options. Disclosure, I teach a whole class at the University of Louisville about the franchise disclosure document and how that is regulated heavily by the Federal Trade Commission, and how you can use that document to actively investigate a franchise option. We could go on and on about that, but just know that there is a disclosure process for anyone that's ever interested in purchasing a franchise, and it is regulated. Disadvantages, fewer industry options. Franchising is about consolidating a fragmented industry, so you don't see emerging, exciting concepts in a franchise world. So they're never going to be the leading edge of a business. They're always going to come in after someone has tried to start a specific industry, and then they figure out it's a better system. So if you think about this, McDonald's, they did not invent the hamburger. There was a hamburger joint on every corner when they started. They just figured out how to systematize it and get you a burger in less than 60 seconds. Which before that, no one had done that before. Structured operating systems, territories, you have a specific territory that belongs to you that no one else can come into. So sometimes that can be a restriction, especially if you want to expand. Sometimes that means you have to buy additional territories. You can't only sell their products. So there are some restrictions on the types of products that you can sell, and you do have ongoing royalty payments. Although I will tell you that when I work with clients, we really focus in on royalty structure and what you're getting for your royalties. So a great example is a lot of home-based service businesses. So think roofing companies or HVAC companies, or even the people that come and power wash your windows. A lot of those are franchises, and what they get for their royalty is the national call center. So they're not the ones actually answering their phone, and neither are their employees. The national call center is taking care of that. And that is the royalties that they pay is very inexpensive. It would cost them more if they try to do it on their own. So just some things to think about. Next slide, please. So I've kind of touched on it. A lot of people will think, well, a franchise specifically, they'll think of the product or service first. I will challenge you to think that differently. A franchise is a system that you purchase in exchange for ongoing royalties. I go back to the McDonald's example. They didn't invent the hamburger. They just figured out a way to get it to their clients and customers faster and consistently. A McDonald's is a McDonald's and McDonald's, no matter where you're at in the country or the world. They figured out consistency in product. That's their system. So remember that as you go forward, or if you're interested in looking at franchises, it's all about the system and what the system does for you. And if it gets you to where you want to go faster than if you try to do it on your own. That's really the biggest advantage of a franchise, in my opinion. Next. Resources. You can look for franchising on your own or use a consultant. That's me. That's what I do. I'm essentially the eHarmony or the Match.com of the business world. I help people figure out, one, if they should even go into business. So if you've thought about it, but you're just not sure, something that we can help you with. And then what type of business you're best suited for. All of my services, like the Sbdc, are free. There are a couple books on here. I'll shout out again to the Sbdc and to SCORE. I really like the SCORE chapter in the Louisville area, and Lexington's really growing. And we work very closely with both those organizations to make sure that you really understand where your business is going to go and if it's something that fits you and your lifestyle and where you're at currently. Next. So I will reiterate this, and I know Tanya will as well. Think about what's important to you. So it could be, if you want to kind of fill in this slide, that would be great, Ellie. So what's important to you? Is it the challenge, the recognition, prestige? Is it building equity for retirement? Is it time for your family? Maybe your current job or the jobs that you're looking at have you doing a lot of travel, or you've been working from home for the last couple of years and now they're trying to call you back into the office. A lot of people, the great resignation of 2021, I keep seeing this because people have had time to consider what their lifestyle has been like when they haven't had to be going into an office or jumping on a plane every other week to go meet a client. Is that something that you now want to maintain? That's what I would suggest you think about when you look at business ownership, independence and control, and then of course, financial security. This has to, for me, it had to end up better than what I left. And that was very important to me in my research. Next. So this is my last slide that I will offer to you all. Part of my services and what I work with the Sbdc on is, do you even have the skill set to be a business owner? Some people don't know that. And often if you are really, really good at something, you also just don't see it as a skill or a transferable skill. It comes naturally to you. So one thing that we do is we put everyone through an entrepreneur profile. You can scan that code there. You can go to that website. You can take your profile online. You will immediately get your results. It spits out about a 16-page report on everything from your personality type, your skill set, and what type of business structure you're best suited for naturally. One of the biggest things that we really work with is understand what your weaknesses are, but really let's also understand what your strengths are and build upon that. Be a superstar with what you already have and try to figure out not just a business, but maybe even a potential career change that best fits what you were already good at from a skill set level. So maybe you're really good at talking to strangers. That's a skill. Maybe you're really, really good at details. I'm not. So there are certain businesses and certain careers that I am not best suited for. Know these things before you spend money, no matter what option you're looking at. So I will leave you with that. I know I talked really fast and really, hopefully not too long, but I am going to stop and I think we're going to do questions at the end and I'm going to turn it back over to Tanya.
Thank you, Amanda. And you're really, really, really good at talking to people and helping them navigate the franchise world and the franchise system.
Thank you. So I didn't know talking was a skill, and I really have a bone to pick with my ninth grade homeroom teacher who gave me so much attention for talking in class.
And you should. Amanda is a great resource to the Sbdc. She helps us with clients that come in looking for or trying to start a business, and we can, she can navigate whether a franchise opportunity is the right fit for them. The profile that she put up there, please go and do that. It's very good at disseminating whether, even if you don't even think you want to go into business for yourself or be your own boss, I still suggest doing the profile. It's very insightful. So at the Kentucky Small Business Development Center, which we call the Sbdc, which is what I'm going to call it from here on. It's too much of a mouthful to say the whole thing. We provide services from business coaching to looking to help the client get capital that they might be seeking to start the business or grow the business. We have market conduct research that we have available to our clients, and we provide resources, lots of resources, and resources to other small businesses too. So next slide, Ellie. Just a little bit about the Sbdc. We are statewide, and we are part of America's Sbdc. So the Kentucky Sbdc is statewide. We've been in existence 40 years. We just last year celebrated our 40th year anniversary. We have over 40 business coaches over in 17 centers across the state. And it is a great pool of people who have all kinds of backgrounds and everything. So whenever you get a Sbdc coach, you don't just get one, you get us all, because we have different skills and we want to make sure that a client is being taken care of. So our network and our co-coaching, it's a really great skill. Next slide. So one of the I say it's quite possibly the best secret is that we're free, much like Amanda. You know, the SBDC is funded in part by the SBA and the University of Kentucky and our other partners, regional universities and things across the state that help provide funding. The only thing that we've ever asked for people to do is just kind of take a survey to see how we've benefited them. So thank you, and go on to the next slide. This is my team. This is the team at the Lexington Center. We have coaching expertise. Stuart is marketing. Lee is industrial and organization. Devin is accounting. Devaney is international. She's involved in international trade and has worked in 4 different countries. Becky is a great intake coordinator, and John Sink, he's like our QuickBooks guru. So we have great resources that are at our disposal at the Lexington Center. And like I said, this is just a little microcosmic of our entire network. Next slide. So tools, you would not want to build a shed or a home or a business without tools. So the SBDC has all kinds of tools at its that it's available for our clients. And I'll go through most of these, but the one that's in the bottom right-hand corner are webinars. And I'll touch back with at the end of the presentation with our link, but the website that we have at the SBDC has an entire archive and inventory of webinars that are just great topics, from everything from marketing to leadership to, you know, where to get some funding. So next slide. So one of the things that we work with businesses is really trying to figure out if the business is feasible. We want to help you put the legwork into finding out that this is going to be a viable business that you can grow and have an income and all of those other things that Amanda had worked with. So in this part, maybe it applies to all business owners or startup owners that come to us, but maybe this is where with your side gigs or your hobby jobs, that this is really invaluable. So next slide. So you might already have an idea, you might already have a product, you might already have an existing business that you need to know if it's really going to take you to the next level. So there are a couple of things that are important. The personality and business considerations. Amanda talked about some of those things, but it also, you need to look at if the business has, maybe it's a service industry and maybe it's a plumbing industry. A lot of people have plumbing issues in the middle of the night. So your business might be running 24/7. If that does not fit in with your family lifestyle, then that's a consideration. But there are lots of different ways to look at the considerations that you may have. Amanda, did you have something you wanted to share? Okay. Market considerations. You might be in a market that's saturated with that product, or maybe there's a large synergy of a business in an area due to what part of the state you're in. And those are all things that you need to consider. Financial, you need to be able to know if the business is going to have cash flow and revenue that you can sustain the employment and your salary on. And you also need to think about financial projections. And these are all things that we can help you with. And then the decision is always yours. And there's always 2 ways, yes or no. So if it's a no, you just start all over, maybe with the same idea and retool it, or maybe another idea or business. If it's a yes, then we work toward developing a business plan. Next slide. So talking about market conduct studies, this considering your market is one of the tools that we can really help with. So next slide. We have in our arsenal, we have a report that we can pull. It's the Ibis World Report. And this is kind of what it would look like for a coffee and snack shop in the US. Go on to the next slide. So it is usually anywhere from 25 to 70 pages, these Ibis World reports. They're very in-depth. And the things that they will bring in, this is kind of a snapshot of parts of all the report, but you can look at the industry at a glance and see what the annual growth of that industry is. And it will tell you if it's trending up or trending down. It can talk about the profitability or the wages that you would be paying your employees, and how many other businesses that are out there that are like yours. Next slide. And then it goes into the key success factors. It talks about a SWOT analysis. It does a lot of amazing things that businesses need to take into account. So the Ibis World is one of our favorite reports that we like to help our clients with. Next slide. Business planning. So I put Ibis World before business planning because a lot of times your business plan needs some meat. Like you can provide the ribs for your business plan. You can outline what you want to do and who you want to do it with, but a report like the Ibis World report will provide the meat. So next thing, next slide. That's what it is. So it's always important to have a business plan, even if it's just for yourself. Most of the time you're doing it for a lender or for someone that you might want to partnership with or someone else. But it's very important to have a business plan for your own business because it is a document that outlines your goals and how you want to achieve them. It tells your story. Your story is always important when you go to advertise or even market your business. Like people want to hear your story, and it helps you refine the strategies and how you're going to get to a successful business. And it will make you think about things like, what type of business that you want to start, what type of entity, what's the layout of your operation model. Will you need financing? It will step you through all of those things that are important for the business. And the Ibis World will give you data to support different parts of your business plan so that if you did need to go to a banking or a lender to get financing, that you have some meat on your bones. Next slide. So funding plans, not everybody's independently rich. So we generally do talk with people about funding, but it's always so very unique. Like no business is funded exactly the same as another business. There are lots of factors that go into that. And we try to work with people and have them consider all of the different ways that you could seek out funding. And so the next slide kind of illustrates that. So you can have personal resources. Family and friends may be a good or not a good idea to consider for funding, but it's definitely a resource. Banks and financial institutions are traditional lenders. They also offer Sba Loans, which are extremely popular for small businesses, and they're guaranteed to the banking institution. So they're favorable lending tools. There are other types of community development financial groups like your local community venture. There's alternative lenders, which gets into crowdfunding and angel investing and things that sometimes are specific to having a unique or maybe kind of a technology driven product. So these are just a few, and we help people look at all of their options and figure out which are the best 2 or 3 to pursue, or maybe it's a pretty straight narrow path that these, maybe you only want to do this type of funding when you start a business. So we have the knowledge and resources to get you the information or get to the person who has the information that you need or you're seeking. Next slide. So as I was telling you, the SBDC has a huge repository of information on our website. And we have weekly Wednesday webinars with all kinds of topics. They vary, as I said, from how to get into business to how to write a blog. I mean, there are all kinds of webinars that you can watch on your own. You can watch them live on Wednesdays, or you can wait till they go to the archive and watch them at any time that you have a free time to do that. The other thing about the website is that it has hours and hours of information about things that you might want to educate yourself with before you talk to someone. Sometimes the hardest conversation is the one that you're worried about looking foolish or maybe not knowing a lot about. And the SBDC website is a great resource to go and get some base information on just about everything from starting to growing an existing business, and really give you some powerful information that you can start the conversation that you might be uncomfortable having. So, and we're here to do that. You just go straight to our website and you can go to our eCenter Direct link, and that will get you connected to registering with the SBDC. And then we'll reach out to you and go forward from there. Next slide. So bottom line is, put Amanda and I to work for you. As we both said, we are free resources to people who are looking for their next business or a startup of business or converting your side business into an opportunity. We are an avenue that is available for you. So Amanda has put her information, and I have put my information in this slide too. So we're excited to talk to you all. And I guess, oh, one other thing. I just wanted to tell you that I liked, not the most, but one of the most reassuring thing about me buying a franchise was that I was not alone. That was very comforting to me, that I was not just walking out on a ledge to do a business by myself. So at this time, we will take questions if you guys have any for us.
Alrighty, okay. So you guys, you want to put some questions in the chat box right there? I know you have plenty of questions for us, and I'll make sure to review those questions, and so that Tanya and Amanda can give you guys some feedback. Alrighty, okay, all right, and of course, yeah, we'll definitely take the great. Let's see here, very good presentation. We'll definitely take those. Okay. Any others? Anyone else? We know we have some questions out there. Come on. Oh, okay. All right. So we have someone right here that says this was a very great presentation and that you cleared up a lot of questions. So that's always a really good thing, that a lot of questions were answered. All right. We'll definitely take a few more minutes here. Okay. All righty. So we do have a first question here. Of course, she starts out by saying thank you for the presentation. That had cleared a lot of questions for her, but she does have a question, and that is, how can she find laws on confidentiality that pertain to the coaching business? Alrighty, and Amanda or Tanya, whoever would like to answer that question.
I'm going to kick this one over to Tanya. I think I know kind of what you're getting at is confidentiality is very important in certain industries, and sometimes it is mandated, especially if you're in healthcare, I think that type of thing. But Tanya, any insight? I know that you probably do this a lot with the SBDC in general.
I mean, we don't have contracts that are with our clients, but all of our sessions and all of our information is 100% confidential, even amongst our coaches. And we tell people that up front. But if you're looking for, I don't have a resource that I could say, oh, here is a document that you might want to use for confidentiality. So I'm not sure which way you're approaching that question, but I know Amanda and I both have confidentiality
Mhm.
around our sessions. So if you want to clarify it, we can maybe help a little bit more.
Oh, you're on mute, Nicole.
I'm so sorry. Thank you. I'm a talker too, so I'm just like, I went ahead, went for it. Okay, so there was a next question about finding an SBD or an SBDC type place in Texas. And in general, of course, out of state, how would someone find a place like SBDC?
So America's SBD is a larger umbrella of all the SBDs. So there are SBDs in every state. So you probably can just do Texas, SBDC.com, or something of that, Texas Small Business, Google. They're all resources just like ours in Kentucky.
Alrighty. Okay, let's see here. And yes, okay, someone's asking about if the presentation is recorded. And you should be able to see this later. So we'll definitely touch base on that at the end of our meeting today. Let's see here. Great presentation. Is there other sites like franchise.org that you recommend?
I actually really recommend the International Franchise Association, IFA.org. They're very reputable. It's kind of like a chamber of commerce for franchises. You can see it from the franchisor side and the franchisee side. They have great webinars. We speak there all the time. The CEO of FranNet, my company, is actually on their board. But it's almost like the Better Business Bureau of franchising. And they have a lot of really great information. That's probably the number one that I would recommend, IFA.org.
Okay. Alrighty, let's see here. Okay, I just want to mention here. Okay, thanks for sharing the webinar library. They haven't found that yet. Okay, so working on that. Let's see here. Next question. Okay, Amanda, will this business assessment help you decide if owning a business will be successful?
It will help you decide if you will be successful at owning a business. So it's not necessarily is the business going to be successful, but what traits and skill sets do you have, and does that match to the business structure that you're looking at? So if you are someone that does not enjoy having a ton of employees, you don't like mentorship or hiring high school students, I would suggest you stay away from retail. That's the type of thing that this will help us figure out.
I will say that that's kind of the relationship we have with Amanda. We can't 100% guarantee that your business will be successful, but we will certainly help you look at all the angles that we can come up with to make sure that you're looking at all the ways in which you need to nail down your business or keep it from leaking, different things like that. So after maybe a client starts out with SBDC, and we might have a session with Amanda, and then after they finish their session, and maybe even after they launch their business, they can come back to us and talk about local aspects of their business, and we work with them that way too.
Awesome. Okay. Of course, more compliments here about the presentation, and then
I will take all of those.
You have plenty. You have plenty. I promise. You both have plenty. Okay. So let's see here. Next question. And I think this probably could go for either of you. Well, both of you, I should say. What has been your number one favorite part of being your own boss? And do you see yourself doing this for the rest of your life?
I will never go back to working for someone else, ever. And coming from government, which is highly structured, that was a complete 180 for me. You were told when you had a lunch break as a manager. So, but going into my own business, the best part for me was the flexibility. My best friend moved to Europe 2 years ago, and I was able to take 6 weeks and go help her do that and work from Europe. No way would I have been able to do that with a 9-to-5 W-2 job. This Friday, I'll be working from the pool because I'm taking my niece to her swim lessons, and I'll be taking my laptop out there and doing my work from there. So the flexibility for me, 100%, the best part. And then I tell me what to do. sometimes that is also a downfall, but that's probably the best part for me. Tanya, what about you? I know when you've had a business before.
So I did truly love being my own boss, and I loved all the aspects of the operations and the freedom. And sort of interesting, when I was looking after I sold the business, like I really wanted to go into coaching, and coaching is a great thing when it's free. So, I really kind of, sort of stalked the SBDC and kept their postings on my radar so that I could help others do it. So even though technically I don't work for myself anymore, I kind of still do, because we have a lot of freedom and I'm helping other people do what I really know will make them happy, in the future.
And able to, I know I always hear the statement, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, no matter what it is. So I like that. Okay, any more? Oh, go ahead, Tanya. Oh, I was gonna say, go ahead.
Sometimes that's not true when you own your own business. You can still love
Really?
it and work. And you can still love it, but it's work.
It's work, no matter what. Exactly.
It's a love-hate cycle. Yeah, there will be days. I mean, we're not gonna lie, it's hard. There will be days where you're like, nope, I don't want to do it. I want to kill this bottle of wine and think about that tomorrow. But as long as the good outweighs the bad, you've made the right decision.
Okay, more compliments here. Thank you. Okay, so this question is for Amanda. Since you mentioned that it is a bit like matchmaking, how do you know if this is a great match versus just a fit? Let's see here.
So that's a good question. We help. It's the matchmaking process is really the beginning. Once we've kind of narrowed it down to 2 or 3 franchises we think are a good fit, then the investigation process starts. And that's really where we work with the client very heavily through. We're going to be interviewing the CEO of that franchise to make sure that you trust this person, you're going into business with them. We're going to be interviewing current and former franchise owners to ask them, how was it? What would you do differently? Would you buy this franchise again? So it's really a very thorough process. And at the end of the day, only you can make the decision if it's the right fit for you and your family. It's always a family decision. So not only do I work with the client, if there's a spouse involved, if there are children that are going to be involved in the business, we're working together with everyone. You want those roles identified up front so that, you can still look at each other across the Thanksgiving table and like each other at the end of the day. So that's really, it's a very extensive, involved process. I spend a good 6 months with my clients going through research into various franchise businesses. And I know Tanya does the same.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, next question is for you also, Amanda. It says, does FranNet have an office location in Lexington?
We don't. We have office locations in Louisville and actually out in Western Kentucky and Hopkinsville, Paducah, Bowling Green. But I will travel to Lexington. I have a lot of clients in Lexington. So we know the market there fairly well as well. And that's actually, we lean heavily on the Sbdc and Tanya out there in Lexington as well, to make sure that we're picking, it's not just the right business fit for you, it's also where do you want to put it? And does that market support it? A business that works in Lexington is a different business that works in New York. So that's really, we really rely heavily on some of that market research data from the Sbdc there.
Okay. Alrighty, and let's see here. Next question. Oh, okay. Someone's asking, what was the name of the Better Business Bureau of Franchises organization again?
International Franchise Association, or IFA. I can probably put that in the chat. Let me put that in the chat for you.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Do we have any more questions, you guys? Any more questions for Tanya or Amanda? Or just any general questions? No, we'll give you a few more seconds here before we go ahead and move on to.
You guys have had some good questions.
Very good.
Oh yeah, definitely. Always really good questions during these sessions. I love it. Really good questions. Okay, we have a question here. Okay, question. Small business owners with health ends and investing in retirement. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Small business.
I get this a lot from my clients. Like, as a small business owner, how am I going to afford health insurance and or invest in my retirement?
Yes.
So health insurance is always a concern, I think. But one of the really cool things that I think a lot of chambers of commerce, Kentucky Chamber of Commerce does it, Lexington Chamber of Commerce does it. If your business is part of their chamber, you can actually buy into their health insurance plan for you and your employees. Makes it much more affordable. There are options out there for that as well. Retirement, the retirement laws for a self-employed person are much more generous, I think, than working for a W-2, that your maximum contribution is way more. But those are the types of things that especially Tanya can help you with, and I can as well. That needs to be part of your business ownership discussion. Because when you do leave a W-2 job, you are leaving certain benefits, and how much benefit was that to you? And what is your business going to have to look like to make up for what you're leaving behind?
All right, Tanya, you have any feedback on that one? As far as
No.
that was actually going to be a question that I had about insurance and things like, how do people handle that? So
It can be a little daunting sometimes, because when we talk with people about their business, sometimes they want to talk about this, sometimes they don't. We want to talk about what their end strategy is, like what, that's part of your why. What's the purpose of your business? Is it to hand it to your child? Is it to sell it? That's all part of the strategy of your business, and how you would, have retirement and have insurance and all those key elements. So we try to get our clients to think all the way through those options.
all righty, okay. So, okay, let's see here what this next question is. Is my main motivation for opening a business is to have a place for my autistic son to work as an adult. That's awesome. Okay, would you recommend one type of business over another? Franchise, completely new business, etc. And I could read that again if I said that too fast.
I don't know that I could make a suggestion on the type of business just based on that. I think that's very important. I get a lot of clients that say, I want to hire or support my children, or they want to provide good livable wage jobs for their community. I get that a lot as well. That it won't necessarily matter, I think, whether it's a franchise or start your own. It'll just matter what the business actually is. For something like that, I would highly suggest you reach out, make an appointment with Tanya to kind of go through your business options there, or take the assessment, and we can kind of start there. I see those as two separate issues that you can definitely tie them together.
Okay. All righty. Any feedback, Tanya?
I completely agree.
Great. Okay. All righty. Okay. And let's see here. It looks like the panelists who actually, attendee who actually asked that question, it was about insurance. She said, thank you. She was typing fast. So she's glad that you guys understood her question.
I get that question all the time.
It's
all
a very
time.
important one. I'm telling you, it's like the main one. What am I going to do about insurance in retirement? Okay. That's actually all the questions that we have. If anyone has any other questions, okay, well, we'll go ahead, and since it's 10 o'clock, it's a little bit after 10, we'll go ahead and move into the next portion. So we of course want to say thank you, and we'll say it again before we end, but thank you to Amanda and Tanya, both from FranNet and Sbdc, for joining us today and giving us this great presentation full of information. I know I learned a lot. I had a lot of questions myself, but but you guys seem to ask them. So thank you so much. This was great. Really, really great presentation.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All righty. So let's see here. All righty. So who's hiring? Attendees share job leads and job targets via the webinar chat box. Employers with active job leads, click the raise hand function now, or email us job leads by 12 p.m. at ukalumnicareer@uky.edu, and we'll include them in our post-meeting job lead list. Anyone has any? Okay. Alrighty. So yeah, at any time you can put those leads here in the chat box also, and we'll, as mentioned, raise your hand and we'll let you talk about that. And if not, we'll go ahead and move on to the next slide. Anyone?
Nicole, before we move on, I do see a raised hand on here. Stephen,
Okay.
if you're an employer guest, I'm not 100% sure because it's been raised for a little bit.
Okay.
maybe we'll keep going. Stephen, feel free to share that in the chat if you have a job lead. Let us know, and if you need audio privileges, we'll give it to you in a moment after this next slide.
Alrighty. Okay, sorry about that. Alrighty, so let's see here. Is it going to be? I'm gonna pass it on here. Believe is it gonna be Diane? We're gonna talk about. Oh, okay. Actually, it's gonna be me.
You're up, Nicole. Yes.
Okay, it's gonna be me. Alrighty, good. Sorry about that brief pause there, you guys. Okay, so as mentioned earlier, I do work with the University of Kentucky Temporary Employment, better known as STEPS. And just to give you guys some job leads here about what we have available, there are many, you guys, and I typically will just add the link there for you to kind of just go through yourselves and see what's available. But some of the jobs to highlight today, let's see here, I'll just go ahead and stick those in the chat box here. We have a STEPS coder associate position, a STEPS contractor officer, as well as a STEPS technical support. Those are 3 jobs that we're trying to fill pretty quickly here, or that that are in high demand, I should say. And we also have STEPS screener positions that we are in need of. Of course, we have campus opening back up and then healthcare. And so we actually need screener positions. And those are also, I want to point out that these jobs are not just listed on our UK website, but they're also posted on Indeed. And we'll also have these positions posted on LinkedIn today on our website here for Job Club. So you guys be sure to look at those. And so, yeah, those are as I mentioned, though, those are the top 3, but there are so many, you guys, I couldn't possibly put them right here. You know, I encourage you to take a look, see what may be a good fit for you. And then, of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or anyone in the STEPS office, and we would love to talk to you guys. There are so many. So yeah, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. And as mentioned in the presentation today, hey, if you're thinking about even going into your own business, there are some jobs here that are temporary that you can, you know, it's a great way to make money, I should say, and just build some of those skills that are needed. So please take advantage of it. And yeah, that's actually all I have about STEPS today. So thank you guys.
Thank you,
Nicole. Go ahead and go to the next slide. You're welcome.
I wanted to share briefly about UK Alumni Career Services. Amanda and I are certified career counselors. You do not have to be a member of the UK. You don't have to graduate to be a member of the UK Alumni Association. Anyone can join the Alumni Association and get 2 sessions with a career counselor as a benefit of membership. We help hundreds of people each year on job search, resume prep, career management, interview prep. So career assessments, lots of things we can help you with. That information will be in the follow-up email. I'll turn it over to Diane now to close us out.
Thanks, Caroline. And on behalf of Cooperative Extension, you can see that I have a slide on pertaining to Fayette Cooperative Extension. Put some addresses in the chat box for you to contact, because we have lots of things going on now. We are opening up. We're doing some hybrid meetings, in person and virtual combinations. So we just want you to check it out. And the best way to do that really is to take a look at our Facebook pages as well as our website. One that I do want to mention, though, that I think you might be interested in is it's a day trips program. And we all know this past year that local tourism has been more important than ever. And as a result of that, you know, schedules are really temporary at best during this pandemic era. And so we have to think about something that we might be able to actually schedule and do. So we have a great program of day trips in Kentucky, in the central Kentucky area specifically, and you might want to check that out August 18th. It's at 6 p.m. And if you're interested in that program, and there's going to be some real discoveries there that you may not be aware of. So call our office, the number in the chat box, and we would love to sign you up for that Zoom presentation. In addition, we've just got lots of, again, horticulture classes that have opened, 4-H youth. And those of you that aren't in Fayette County, we obviously want you to go to your local county extension office and see what their programs are as well. Because I can assure you, there are some really, really great, great programs that have been planned for fall, and you will not want to miss them. And so now we're going to talk about next time at Job Club. We got a slide that's coming up. And, you know, first and foremost, we want to thank Amanda and Tanya for such a great, wow, this was super information for those of you that perhaps, you know, may have lost your job during the pandemic, or have been given some time to really consider being self-employed and entrepreneurship. So, you know, we just can't thank you, Tanya and Amanda, and you've given us great resources. So I know that you're probably going to get lots of inquiries in the next few weeks and days. Next time at Job Club, we are going to have another great session, making your job search confetti moment happen. That's the seal of the deal. And so it's going to be presented by Jacqueline Badeau. She is president of Badeau Consulting. And we're just thrilled to have her. Just a little incentive here on the description, the experience, the thrill of victory as you land the perfect job. This webinar, you will be able to learn some tips and tricks for job hunting and interviewing, and get some bonus insights about preparing your resume. So sounds like a complete package, and we will want you to register and be with us on August the 24th. And I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Thanks again for attending Job Club. We are always working behind the scenes to bring the best. And as you can experience, today was an example of that. So have a great day. Those of you that have registered through our webinar will receive an email later on this afternoon with the job leads as promised, and a lot of other great information. See you next time.